record for the podcast. So here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Wyfe Up podcast. I am so glad that you guys are joining me today. If you are a first-time guest, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you are joining me again, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Deetra and I'm your host. And let's get started. So today's topic is, what compliments mean the most to you? Right? So it's a question. What compliments mean the most to you as a woman and as a wife? Now, for the most part, as a woman, I'll be honest, if I hear my husband say to me, especially after we're about to go out and I get dressed up and he looks at me and says, "Wow, you're stunning." Woo! That, you can get it with that. Okay, sorry. What I'm saying is, that's a compliment that I, as a woman, I love to hear. What woman would not love to hear that she looks stunning or beautiful or cute or pretty or amazing, or her outfit is gorgeous, or she stops her husband in his tracks? Listen, yes, all day I'm there for that because I want my husband to look at me a certain way, right? Or what about just as a woman and as a wife? What kind of compliments as a wife is something that you would like to hear? Obviously, if someone says to my husband, "What kind of wife do you have?" And he's like, "She's awesome. Oh my gosh, my wife is the bomb, and she can cook, and she looks good, and she keeps her body right, and she is amazing." Like, just whatever it is that he can, all the positive things that he can say about me as a wife. Those are things that I would love to hear him say, right? Or if I asked him, or not even if I asked him, sometimes he'll just say, "I just love you so much. You're such an amazing wife." I'm like, yes. Oh, if you are listening, guys, obviously you're listening, but if you are just listening to my podcast, just to let you know, I also have a YouTube channel where I'm recording this podcast. So if you're visual like I am and you like to see people as they talk, please head on over there because that's where I'm at as well. So anyway, I love that. I love when my husband pays me compliments. I love when he out the blue says, "You're the best wife ever." Those usually come if I get his favorite beer or if I do something that he really, really likes, things of that nature. But still, those are, sometimes he does it randomly, but those are compliments that as a wife, I love to hear. What are some of the compliments that you guys like to hear? But I bring this up because as a woman and as a wife, those are kind of external compliments, right? Those are things that we hear from our husband, or we may even hear from other people, right? Other people that we know or people that we don't know. Let's just say you're out somewhere at a restaurant, you go to the bathroom and there's a woman in the bathroom and she's like, "Wow, I love your outfit." That's a compliment. That is awesome, right? Those are things that we love as women. My point that I'm trying to get to is that those things, as nice as they are for a Christian woman, they're just kind of like icing on the cake, right? The surface. One of the compliments that I believe that as a Christian woman and as a Christian wife that you should be striving for, I want to know if you can guess what that is. I will tell you. If someone says or references you, if it's your husband or someone that has been around you, but they get to see your character, and someone references you as a Proverbs 31 woman, consider yourself blessed. That to me is the ultimate compliment that can be paid to a Christian woman, especially a Christian wife, is when someone sees that within you. Proverbs 31. So for those of you that might not be familiar with Proverbs 31, let me just read a little bit of it, right? It says, epilogue. It actually starts with that. Epilogue. Wife of noble character. Come on. That right there is like, you're not striving to be that. You're doing it wrong. You're doing this whole wife thing wrong. I'm telling you right now. If all you're worried about is your outward appearance, is people saying how good you look, or, you're just fishing for compliments, no. But if someone sees that character on you and they say that about you, it is the best feeling in the world. So let me just read some of it. I'm not going to read all of it, but there's something that caught my eye in it. Okay, so Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 12. It says, a wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing in value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And let me read it from the New Living Translation. It says, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? And capable wife. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Listen, that right there, that should be something every wife should be striving for. When people look at you and they look at your marriage, they look at you as a wife, those are the things that they should be saying. Now, maybe they might not say Proverbs 31 like verbatim. Maybe they just say, she's a good wife. She loves her husband. She brings honor to him. You can tell that they have a good marriage. You can tell that she loves and honors her husband. You can look at her and see that, not just that, by her actions. That's the type of wife I want. Let me just tell you, and this isn't from a bragging standpoint. The first time someone said that to me, two times that has stood out to me. Number one, a young man at our church, he said to me just randomly, he was like, you know what? I want my wife to be just like you. That almost made me cry. I want to say I might have cried because it was so unexpected. It's a young guy that goes to our church, very nice guy. And one day he's going to make someone an amazing husband. He's just growing in Christ and just being so obedient. But for him to say that to me, it melted my heart. It just made me feel so, so good because I knew I was doing something right at that moment. Right? Because now you're not talking about something that my husband says to me. We're talking about someone is seeing me from the outside and the actions that I'm doing as a wife. And he's seeing it and he's recognizing it and he's saying, this is what I want for my wife to be like. That made me feel so good. It made me feel, honestly, like screaming. It made me feel like crying out to God, like, Abba King, thank you. Thank you so, so much for creating me into this woman that I am, and letting people see me as that. I love my husband. I love my marriage. I'm going to fight tooth and nail for my marriage. Like, I'm not playing when it comes to that. Don't come for my husband because I will fight for him. Like, seriously, this is what my life is here on this earth. It is my husband. It is being a mom. It is bringing light. I want to be light. I want to be someone that when people see me, they see Jesus. They can see that I love Jesus and that's the most important thing in the world to me. But if I could show wives how to be better wives through God, of course, not me, just what God is putting inside of me, that's what I want to do. I want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. That's all day. That's what I want. And so what was so interesting is I was very familiar with it. I was familiar with the Proverbs 31 scripture, but I didn't know it like that. Like, I knew it was a good thing and I knew it was something that, women were talking about. It's like all on the internet and people, Proverbs 31, this, that, and the other. And I was just like, oh yeah, okay. So I read it, but it didn't really sink in. The second compliment that someone paid me that I'm talking about is for my birthday. A woman, a sister in Christ, made a birthday post for me. Now, I don't even, on Facebook, my birthday is not up there at all, right? Just because I'm kind of private person. And she made a post and she put it on her timeline. And she was just like, happy birthday to this Proverbs 31 woman. And then she goes on about, all these amazing things that she said about me. And that did make me cry. I was just like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. How amazing is that? That someone sees me as that, right? Someone sees me as a Proverbs 31 woman. That is the ultimate compliment. All the other things are great. Seriously. From an external standpoint, I get dressed up, I go out, someone notices, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But to see Jesus in me, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm striving for. Why? I have kids. I have a husband, firstly, and then I have kids. My kids are going to look to me. My kids are looking to me. They're looking at me. And so are my nieces and nephews. So are my cousins. So are my in-laws. So are the people at my church. People are looking at me. People are looking at you. Please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm talking about you. Who are you? Who are people seeing when they see you? Are they seeing just the external, or are they seeing a Proverbs 31 woman and wife? That's my question. What are you accepting as compliments? What are your favorite compliments? Are you just accepting the external? You look good, girl. You lost weight, girl. You look fantastic. Those are great. Listen, those are great. However, nothing tops that Proverbs 31. Because that says that people see Jesus on you. That says that you're doing the wife thing right, because people are saying that you are that wife. That is the wife you want to strive to be. So it also says in Proverbs 31, verses 25 through 31, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household. Sorry. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. I'm going to read the New Living Translation, and then we're going to talk. New Living Translation 25 through 31. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise. When she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and does nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will greatly be praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Guys, think about that. She is clothed in strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. How many of you can say that? How many of us Christian wives and Christian women are walking around upset and fearful, having anxiety because of everything that's going on around us? Don't you know we're not supposed to fear? Don't you know we're not supposed to be worried? We're not supposed to look like the world. We're supposed to be like Jesus won. Now, obviously, our heart is supposed to break for what breaks his. But we're not supposed to be living in fear. There's a lot of stuff going on around us. A lot. I'm not fearful. I'm not, because I know who's going to win in the end. I'm not fearful. And I'm protected. God protects the righteous. He protects those that fear him. That would be me. So, I don't sit and worry. I'm not sitting in fear, because when you sit in fear, then you can't take care of your household if you're walking around afraid. You can't function properly if you're walking around afraid. You can't do that because you're walking around in fear. Or half of the time you're so fearful. Half of the time you're so fearful that you can't function right in your home. You don't want to get out of bed. You're scared. You don't want to go anywhere or do anything. You don't know to get on your knees and pray. I'm not fearful. It says she laughs without fear of the future. I'm not, listen. When she speaks, her words are wise, and when she gives instructions with kindness. I aspire to do those things. I don't want to speak words of unkindness. I want to be as kind as I can to as many people as I can. Don't get me wrong. I'm human. I make mistakes. We do. But I aspire to do those things. I see a lot of you wives not doing that. I see a lot of you wives on social media slandering people, gossiping, telling lies, speaking hatred towards different races, towards the president of the United States. Whether you agree with him or not, this isn't political. The Bible says we're supposed to pray for him and pray for the nation. Proverbs 31 woman will be doing that. She doesn't have to agree with politics on either side. She knows that this nation is the most important thing right now that needs to be prayed for. And that's what she does. She doesn't get in the middle of debates. She doesn't argue and spew hatred on the internet or towards anyone. But I see wives. I see what wives are doing. They get caught up. Don't do it. She carefully watches everything in her household and does nothing from laziness. I love that there's a certain way that God guides us to be in our homes. A lot of the problems is people don't read the Bible, so they don't really know what it is that God is calling us to do. When a Proverbs 31 woman runs her household, well, she doesn't run her house, but you get what I'm saying, right? She does to a certain degree. When she does it a certain way, the way that God is calling her to do it. But because a lot of women don't read the Bible, and because a lot of women don't understand what God is calling them to do, they do it in their own way. They do it the worldly way. And in doing it the worldly way, what ends up happening? You have a worldly marriage. And worldly marriages tend to end in divorce. Not always, I'm sorry, man. That was it. Just not always. And obviously we have Christian marriages that end in divorce too. But it's not because it should. It's just because the wife and the husband aren't living by the word. And so when you have a Christian marriage where God is not in the center of the marriage, what do you think is going to happen? So for all my wives that are listening, this Proverbs 31 woman is something to strive for. Because you don't want to be a worldly wife. You want to be a Proverbs 31 wife. It says this, a wife of noble character who can find? What does your husband say about you? And if you don't know, ask him. Say, honey, would you consider me a Proverbs 31 wife? And if he doesn't know what that is, that's okay. Because, we're all growing in faith. Then pull it up. Or have him pull it up. And just say, can you read Proverbs 31? And am I that? And ask him for an honest answer. And do not get mad when he answers you if the answer isn't what you want to hear. Because can I be honest and tell you, if I had asked my husband a couple of years ago, if I was a Proverbs 31 woman, he'd have been like, no. Some bits, some parts, but no. And I'd have had to eat that. I'd have to been like, you're right. I probably wouldn't have back then. I probably would have been like, But now, it's what I aspire to be. So if I go to my husband now and I say, do you consider me a Proverbs 31 woman? I think he would say yes. But you know what? If he said no, I would ask him, what can I do in your eyes to become that? Because I want my husband to consider me something worth far more than rubies. That's important to me. I want him to have full confidence in me and lack for nothing of value. It says she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. I want him to say that about me. I want my husband to say that I'm an asset. I want him to say that I'm addition, not subtraction. That I'm multiplication. I'm a multiplier. Okay? I'm an adder, not a subtractor. I'm a multiplier, not a divider. Because wives, you are either or in your household. You're either subtracting or adding. If your husband, ask him that first. Like, honey, do I add or subtract? Like, be honest. And if he's like, well, no, but like, listen, let's just have a real talk, seriously. Because a lot of wives don't want to talk to their husbands and find out the truth. And a lot of husbands don't want to tell the truth because they don't want to upset their wives. So they know their wives either don't want to hear the truth or they don't want to start an argument because wives will be defensive and be like, no, how could you say that? I do this, and this. I want you to honestly ask your husband, are you a Proverbs 31 wife? And then ask him what you can do. If he says yes, great. Listen, sorry. Wife, you are on the right track. But if he's like, not really, I want you to find out from him what you need to do to make yourself this Proverbs 31 wife. It's so important because I'm telling you, when you get that compliment one day, it's going to be like no other compliment you've ever had in your entire life. You'll feel the Holy Spirit inside of you. It'll make you want to weep that someone sees you as that, because that meant that someone sees you. They see the God in you. And how many wives can say that? How many wives can say that people see God in them? Not a lot of wives. Even Christian wives. I'm telling you, what I see on the internet, what I see people posting, the true heart of the wives that I see, oh my gosh, like, it's ugly. It's not all wives, please. But I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of women that say that they're Christian, but they're letting a lot of stuff come out of their mouth that's coming from their heart, and you can see their true heart. I've seen a lot of women get caught up in today's okie doke and get caught up on arguments on the internet. I've seen it. I've seen people say, unfriend me if you don't agree with it. I've seen it. Christian wives, aren't we supposed to be light? Aren't we supposed to show love and kindness towards people? That's what we're supposed to do. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I love the Proverbs 31 verse. And if you're not familiar with it, go in the Bible, look it up. But I'm telling you, this external, oh, you look great. Oh, your outfit looks nice. Or if my husband's like, you're stunning. That's great. I feel great because I want to be stunning for him. I want to be beautiful for him. I want him to look at me and go, I want him, actually, let's be real. I want my husband to look me up and down, thirsty. I want him to lust after me only. Like, I want him to be like, like, damn, my wife is fine. Yes, of course. But I also want him to look at me and she's clothed with strength and dignity. Far more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her. She will greatly enrich his life. I'm here for that. I want people to say to my husband, your wife, or you are blessed because of your wife. And I don't mean it from any sort of conceited type of point of view. Please understand what I'm saying. I want them to look at him and say, your wife is a godly woman, you are blessed. That to me is the ultimate compliment. Ultimate. You guys tell me, what do you think? Would that mean something to you guys if somebody said that? I'm telling you, when you hear it, when you hear that, as a wife, that's what I'm striving for. If there are days that if there are days that I'm not living up to that, then I got work to do. Every day is not going to be the same. I'm human. I make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. But what I strive for, that's important. And God knows I'm striving to please him every single day. And I'm striving to please my husband every single day. I love that man. I love my husband. And listen, husbands, if you're listening, because I really hope you guys are listening, let your wives know. Let your wives know. If they ask you, let them know. Don't go up to her and be like, babe, you're not a Proverbs 31 woman. You got work to do. No, don't do that. But if she's listening and she asks you, tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. Be like, babe, yeah, you are. You always has been. That's great if she is. But if she's slacking, if she's not doing what she needs to be doing, if she's not kind, if you can't trust her, if she's not enriching your life, let her know. Let her know. And wives, strive for it. Strive for it. Sorry, I don't know if my eyelash is doing what it's doing today. But anyway, if your husband lets you know his heart, if he's like, there are things you could do better. Say, what is it, babe? And get to doing it. Wife up. Like, seriously, wife up. That's what Wife Up is about. It's about learning what you need to do to become the best wife that you can possibly be. To become that Proverbs 31 woman. Wife Up is becoming that Proverbs 31 wife. That's what that's about. Because ultimately, we have to answer to God. And can you say, if God is saying, are you giving your husband the best version of you? Are you becoming that Proverbs 31 woman? Or are you becoming a wifely woman? Are you a worldly woman? Worldly wife? Are you a worldly wife or a Proverbs 31 wife? That's the question. Which one are you? And if you're not sure, like I said, ask your husband. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, guys. I wanted to know, what compliments do you guys love to hear? Like, what are the compliments that are in your life that you, not in your life, but that you know, that give you that little bit of, okay, he said I was beautiful. And some of y'all, some of us, and that's a whole nother episode, are liking it a little bit too much when a guy who is not your husband gives you compliments. That's a whole nother episode. And we're all human, right? We go somewhere and a guy we don't even know, he's like, oh wow, hello, hey, you fine, you look good. Thank you. No, stop that. Stop that. Be like, thank you, I appreciate it, and keep it moving, right? Because all that does is make some other guy think that, oh wait, I got a chance. She's flirting with me. Don't do that. But that compliment, again, that's external. Let somebody stop you and be like, you know what? I see Jesus on you. I can see Proverbs 31 woman on you. Your husband's blessed. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a whole nother, did you see how that level up, that went from this to this? There's a whole nother respect that's there. If a guy said that to me, I can see that on you. I'll be like, thank you. I really appreciate it. Same, I'll be like, thank you. I really appreciate that. But I can see where his heart is coming from. A fellow brother in Christ, or not a brother, you know what I'm saying? A person chasing after Christ, passionate about Christ. They can see that on you. And they can say that, just like when that young man said, I want my wife to be like you. I don't take that for granted. That is something that I strive for, like I said, and I am grateful when I hear things like that, because those things really, really do mean something to me. Those compliments really, really do mean something to me. So you guys let me know what you think. Proverbs 31 woman over here, that's what I'm trying to be. I'm not saying that I am. I am trying to be that. That is my aspiration. I hope you are aspiring to do that too. Anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to say. And let me know. Let me know in the comments, since I'm able to figure out how to find them. Let me know. Like and subscribe to my channel, and to my YouTube channel, and to my podcast as well. I'm still in my beginning stages, but I'm learning. I'm growing every single day. So forgive me for any hiccups and ums and ahs, but you know what? I'm trying. God called me to do this, and this is what I'm doing. I'm here. I want to speak into the lives of wives. I want you wives to step up to the plate and do what you need to do and wife up. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.